Hey, good morning. Welcome to American Reversion. How are you all today? Did you catch that disgusting load of drivel yesterday? So-called speech by the puppet. If that wasn't the most disgusting, divisive, hateful, preparatory to violent speech I've ever heard, I'd have to go back to all through his others or his presidents before to see whether it is or not, and I don't want to do that. I don't want to subject myself to that. If you saw it, my condolences, but you were good in that we don't know what they're up to if we don't watch them, right? And that was the reason that I watched it. Probably most of you didn't. Included in it were a number of important things. He, of course, is setting it up for next Tuesday, Election Day, when they fully expect to take a butt whipping. But they're not going to stand for it. They don't want a butt whipping. During this speech, he attacked a former president. All of that former president's followers. He used the word democracy, I don't know how many times, 9 million times maybe. Democracy, 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 democracy. That pablum that so many who have no idea what it actually means love so much. And of course, what they don't want democracy, they want cheatocracy. Cheatocracy. One of the most important points that he made in there, and this was the call to arms and the threat, all wrapped up into one, was when he told everybody, he assured everybody, he reminded everybody that it would take days to know the real outcome of this election. Days. We have to be patient. We can't react to what we see on election night. And of course, this is all because of, the mail-in, all the special, all the BS that our elections have become. Kind of a combination of old-time Chicago or Kansas City elections and third world elections. He says, we won't know the results of the elections that night. And of course, we're setting it up because they know they're going to take a butt whipping, and they don't know how many they're going to have to find. They don't know how bad they're going to have to cheat to make things go their way. This is going to be the biggest mess you've ever seen in your life. This is going to be a bigger mess than the last presidential election because they're all over the country. And of course, what this means is that both sides, well, we don't know. We don't know exactly how it's going to come down. If it comes down, the red tsunami. There's going to be lawsuits all over the place. There's going to be accusations of cheating, accusations of this, accusations of voter suppression, accusations of everything in the world. And it's going to drum up, the left. They're going to get all incensed. They're going to take to the streets. They're going to be burning stuff. They're going to be carrying signs. They're going to be yelling, screaming. And it will have an effect on some people. It could have effect on the Supreme Court, couldn't it? It could have an effect on local officials. It could have an effect on local elections officials. Counties, within counties now are separated. And so who knows how bad this could get. But I think it could get real bad. That was the threat embedded in this. Now, he said, things like, oh, we can't resort to violence and everything like that. Of course, that's directed at us. We shouldn't resort to violence. If the other side resorts to burning and blowing things up and attacking cops and shooting people. Well, that's just understandable, right? It's just understandable frustration over the lack of justice, the historical lack of justice in our country, in this horrible, horrible country of the United States of America. This is going to be one for the books. This is going to be one of the most interesting elections you're going to see. Now, it's important to get out there and vote. There will be some who say that voting doesn't matter. There will be some that say they're so disgusted with all politicians, they don't want any part of it. That brings up something else I was going to say. I was going to make a separate one on this, but I'll just throw it in here. I had a couple of comments, and this has to do with, I don't know, maybe it was one that I made about, I see some comparisons between Ronald Reagan, Tulsi Gabbard, others who started off from the left, started off as Democrats like myself, and eventually became very, very conservative or reversionist. And I keep getting comments about, I don't trust any politician. Listen, I've got news for you. It's not about trusting any politician. You can't trust any politician, so that's not some great news, okay? A politician is a person who wants authority or power over other people. You can never trust that kind of person. Now, I think there have been exceptions, okay? There are exceptions. But I'm not going to paint, the broad spectrum of politicians with a tiny little brush of those exceptions. So it's not about trusting. Stop that. Get that out of your mind. It's not about, you can't trust them, okay? News flash, you can't trust them. Have I said that? Enough. So that nobody ever has to say again, I don't trust politicians. It's not about trusting them. It's about what they do. Okay? Now, what they say is an indication of how they're feeling. Okay? Get this. What they say is what they think. It is either, in some cases, it is what they think. Okay? That's what they truly think. In other cases, it's what they think they need to say to get the votes. Okay? In either cases, it's what they think. That still doesn't tell us what's going on. It matters what they do. And what a politician does is whatever it takes, either in that very small percentage, what they think is right, or a very large percentage, that which they think will get them reelected. Okay? Now, that's where the people come in. If you don't make noise, if you don't talk to people, if you don't try to influence people, to influence the election and then influence the people in office, you're not in the fight. You're simply not. You're not a part of the big fight. I don't care anybody that says, cold dead hands and all this. You're not in a fight if you're not willing to stand up for what's right on a daily basis vocally. That's what it's about. Now, I'm going to put something else in here too, and that is, I don't suggest that anybody lose family or friends over political differences. Okay, now that may shock some people. I hear so many people, and I know people whose families are just divided. Everybody wondered until recently how this could have possibly happened during that war in the 1860s. The War of Northern Aggression, the invasion of the southern states. How could people, how could that split families? Well, we've seen in the last 3 or 4 years how families can be split, how friendships can be split. Now, if it's over something really important, I won't try to delineate what those important things are. That's up to each individual to figure. But I also know that there can be differences of opinion in families and friends, that each side comes at it from a position of their own thoughts, their own beliefs, their own information. And that's a battlefield. That's a battlefield. That's where you can try to stay involved, try to influence that person by reason and with love. and try to influence them for the future. I've done it. I've done it in a number of cases. Probably some of you have too. If you have, please leave your comments down below, because there are too many people, I think, that they just don't want to be involved in this because they don't think it'll do any good. It will do some good, but don't lose family, don't lose friends over things like this. That's what they want. You see, that's what fractures the more conservative end. The left never gets fractured. What are they trying to fracture? They don't have anything to fracture. They don't have any standards. There's nothing that holds them together except hatred for the fundamental principles that the rest of us hold dear. Okay? They're trying to fracture us. They're trying to fracture our families, our friendships. Don't let that happen. Stay involved. Stay involved with those people with reason and with love, and try to influence them for the long term. Okay, so this is coming up Tuesday. It's going to be a mess. Get ready. Just get ready. It's election night is going to be the start of big problems, I think. Okay. Y'all remember, America needs a reversion. Needs you to be a part of it, needs me to be a part of it, needs all of us to be a part of it, but it needs us to be a part of it in a way that is effective. Not a way that is an emotionally misdirected, but effective. Okay, you all have a good day. I'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye-bye.